Lindsey Rhodes and Scott Hansen here with a jam-packed NFL Total Access for you. We've got a Cowboys contract extension done and announced. We've got some quarterback-on-quarterback crime in the media. We also have a helmet watch that could be coming to an end. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, 2 days after the Raiders told Antonio Brown to be all in or all out, the team says he's all in. The team says that Antonio Brown practiced with an NFL-approved helmet today. In the 10 minutes the media was allowed to watch practice, Brown was seen separate from the team without a helmet. But after the cameras were turned off, the Raiders say he popped on a legal helmet and went to work. Gruden says, AB says he's all in.
He's all in, that's what he said.
Did he practice today?
Yep.
I gotta ask about the helmet on.
Yes, he did. Yep.
Is it a new helmet?
It's a certified helmet, Vic. So he's all in, ready to go. That's my understanding, and really happy to have him out here. He's a great player.
The helmet aside, how's he running and cutting, and where is he in that part of his game?
Good. He's really good. Yeah, he's showing great retention of what we're doing. He didn't miss the off-season program. He's been here and out of here in meetings, and it's just good to have him back. But he's in great shape. He's running hard and running good routes.
Well, let's go all in to Raiders headquarters where MJ Acosta is standing by. MJ, what can you tell us about how AB ended up with a helmet on the practice field today?
Well, Scott, it was almost like a game of cat and mouse. Antonio Brown coming back out onto the field just as that open portion of practice wrapped. But yes, he was an active participant with what we now know to be a certified helmet. And that debacle seemingly one step closer to a resolution. The arbitration hearing for that second helmet grievance is slated for this Friday, according to our own Ian Rappaport. In the meantime, something to consider is AB's integration to this team. He's participated in just 3 practices since the beginning of training camp. Despite that, though, head coach John Gruden says AB has tremendous recall for this offense, and moreover, that the proof of the team's focus is on tape.
You know, I wouldn't read into all the hard knocks being a distraction or the Antonio Brown distractions. There's been no distractions. We've had 89 guys working hard. Our film is out there for you to watch, our first 2 games. If you see a distracted football team, then I disagree with you.
The Raiders head to Winnipeg for their 3rd preseason game against the Packers on Thursday. No word yet, though, on whether Antonio Brown, Derek Carr, or any of the starters will be suiting up in Canada.
And later tonight, we find out what makes the editing room floor and what makes the final cut for the latest episode of Hard Knocks Training Camp with the Oakland Raiders. Thank you, MJ.
Hard Knocks, 10 o'clock tonight. I think a lot of people will be watching with a great deal of interest. Maybe James Jones falls into that category.
No.
Maybe D'Angelo Hall falls into that category. Okay, so we're all in.
Yeah.
All done?
I think so. I think they brought him in, sat down with Mayock, sat down with Gruden. Look, are you all in or not? Because if you're not, we got to get this football team ready to play without you. Now, we want you to be here, but if you're going to keep going through this with this helmet and in and out of practice, we don't need you here. I think he sat down in that meeting. He said, I'm all in. Let's go to work. And you see Gruden. Glad he's out there. Glad he's running these routes. Glad he's very good understanding of the offense. And they've been saying all training camp long, when he's on the field, he makes everybody better. Not just the offense, but the defense as well. So they need him out there. But I don't think this will pop up again. I think he's all in, and it's time to go to work.
Well, he has a grievance hearing coming up on Friday, so I would imagine it pops up to a degree. What happens if that doesn't go his way?
And, Lindsay, that's my concern. Like, is it over? Yes, it's over right now. He's got another helmet on, which is what we thought he should have done from day one. Put that other helmet on, go out there to practice, let your teammates see you all the time, exhausting the rest of your resources. Hey, let's test this helmet, let's test this helmet. And so, yes, I think the drama is over right now. He's doing what we thought he should have done. Put another helmet on, kept practicing while the other helmets got tested. Now, will this come back up when those helmets come back and fail the test? I don't know. And that's the problem, I think. We're all waiting to see what happens.
Well, if Mayock comes out and says what he said, I don't think Gruden would come out and say this unless they sat down in that meeting like, okay, If their helmet doesn't pass, is it going to be another one of these don't show up, don't answer your phone and all that? Or are you in with this football team all in? And I think that's why he stood up there today and said what he said, because that's the response he got from Antonio Brown. Now, if Antonio Brown crosses him, then that's a totally different situation.
You just never know. He can tell you one thing, and then the next day, just not feel like doing that. That's AB. That's the problem he had in Pittsburgh. That's what they're going to have to deal with in Oakland.
I want to show you a picture real quick and ask you if this looks like someone who's all in.
I know.
See, this dude,
this picture can be thrown out of context in so many different ways, because I've been one of those guys while the team was being called up, off on the side, stretching, doing what I need to do to get ready. And the coaches understood kind of that's how I did. And it wasn't necessarily just me. Yeah. It was other guys who kind of did the same thing too, because, each individual, especially in a practice, you know what you need to do to get your body ready. Yeah. And sometimes maybe he's still going through what he needs to do to get his body ready. A little breakdown, I don't read too much into that.
We do hear a lot about players working out off to the side during practice. If they're coming back from an injury, clearly the feet fall into that category. So maybe that's what that was. Thank you very much.